And just like that, it's the last test match of a truly enthralling test series. The circumstances for this test series are completely the opposite of what they were in 2018 when India won down under. In 2018, Australia were depleted with the bans on Smith and Warner. But in 2020-2021, it's India which has been severely depleted, first by their captain Virat Kohli's paternity leave, and then with all the injuries as we have seen over the last 2 or 3 weeks. To find out how India will get past this injury hurdle and what you can expect from India at the Gabba test, tune in to Jatin's Scorecard. The Gabba is one of the most iconic grounds, one of the most iconic venues in Test cricket, and it's always had a very fair wicket, a very fair pitch. Depends on if this pitch is a drop-in or not, but if this pitch is not a drop-in, you can expect a good contest between bat and ball. Traditionally, the scores at the Gabba in the first innings have all been very high. Who can forget Ganguly's 144 in 2004, where he set up India for a big first innings total. So traditionally the scores have been high, so the toss becomes very, very important. But what is more important than the toss is the 11 which India would have to go in with. I say have to because there are so many injuries around. So I think that the 11 which India will take the field with is as follows. Rohit Sharma and Shubman Gill to open, Pujara, Rahane, Rishabh Pant at 5. I would continue him at number 5 after that fantastic innings in the second knock. I would play Mayank Agarwal at 6 just as a stopgap, because Vihari most likely will be out injured because hamstring takes a lot of time to heal. So I'd go with Mayank Agarwal at 6. I will play Washington Sundar at 7. I'll play R. Ashwin at 8, Shardul Thakur at 9, Siraj at 10 and Natarajan at 11. So I would make these changes. I would prefer Natarajan over Saini. I would sacrifice pace for more control, because I think this game is going to be a little bit of a cat and mouse game which India will have to play. They will have to play, what in Marathi we call Ganimi Kawa, which is guerrilla warfare. India will have to calculate very, very carefully on each session when they are fielding. But I think essentially this will be a strategy and a more defensive strategy, for this test match which India will adopt. I go in for Natarajan because most likely Pakowski will be replaced by Marcus Harris. So that's two left-handers who will open the batting for Australia. And I think facing a left-arm seamer will be slightly more challenging for them than facing a right-armer. With Natarajan, you get two other attributes apart from that fresh angle of left arm over the wicket. The second attribute which you get is accuracy. And so he is a guy who will keep plugging away. The third attribute which you get is a huge amount of stamina. Let's not forget that Natarajan will have fresh legs. He has not played any match for the last few weeks. He will be hungry to bowl, and I think he could be the guy who Ajinkya Rahane will rely on to bowl some long spells. I have also picked Shardul Thakur here because at the Gabba the ball will swing, and Shardul has a natural outswinger which will be a natural in-swinger for the left-hander. Steve Smith, as well as we've seen, is a little suspect against the outgoing ball. So I would work with Siraj, Shardul Thakur and Natarajan as the three fast bowlers, three swing bowlers, and Ashwin and Washington Sundar as somebody who could come and bowl 10 or 12 tight overs. So that would be my 11. Every test match has been important from a batting perspective for India. At the end of the day, if you don't score runs, if you don't put big totals on the board, you will have no chance in winning. But this time, I think it's very, very important for the top 6 for the Indian batting order to fire, and at least one out of the top 6 going on to make a big 100. Something tells me it could be Rohit Sharma, but the kind of innings we require from the top 6 at the Gabba is a 170, 180, 190 kind of innings where he could be the fulcrum that guy is a fulcrum around which the other batsmen are also creating partnerships of 70 and 100. If that happens, then India can get to 400. So I think if India win the toss, they will bat first, and they will want a total of 400 on the board. But as I said earlier, one of the top 6 not only has to score 100, has to score a big 100. On the other hand, if India lose the toss and bowl first, then you will see Ajinkya Rahane's multifaceted captaincy coming into play, because it will be like a game of chess. If he goes in with Natarajan, he will use Natarajan as that one bowler who keeps it tight from one end. So Natarajan will end up bowling 27-30 overs during a day's play, and he will use Ashwin as a wicket taker with a bat pad and a backward short leg. So that's the kind of theme which will follow. He will use Siraj for longer spells with the, as the ball gets a bit older, Siraj will bowl longer spells because he has the ability to straighten that ball up. So I think here you will see Ajinkya Rahane marshalling his resources very, very carefully. I think top of his mind, after wanting to take wickets, every captain has the one biggest priority for a captain is that he wants to take wickets. But the second priority in this case for Ajinkya Rahane will be to save boundaries. So don't be surprised if you see a deep point and a deep square leg coming early into the play, because he will realize that he will want to make the Australians bat for as long as possible to score as many runs as possible. Let's not forget that if this test match is drawn, the Border Gavaskar Trophy comes back to India. So that will be playing heavily in Ajinkya Rahane's mind as well. I'm not saying that he will go out to draw a test match, but he will have one eye on the scorecard all the time, looking at how many boundaries he's giving away. So it's going to be a fascinating game at the Gabba. I'll join you same time at the end of the day's play every day. If you have any thoughts or comments, do drop me a line in the comment section here, or drop me a line on Twitter using the hashtag AskJatin, and I'll be happy to come back to you. Thanks for watching, and see you on the 15th.